Horse with No Name is a song by American pop rock trio called American. The song was written by Dewey Bunnell, one of the members of the band. Let's begin with the chords. The song has two sets of chord progressions, one for each verse and the other one for the chorus. The chords for each of the verses are this. We begin with E minor. Looking at the chord diagram, I have my middle finger on the 5th string at 2nd fret, my ring finger on the 4th string at 2nd fret. The other strings are left open. And then the next chord is what we call D6/9 or D6/9. And to accomplish that, all you have to do is move your middle finger one string up, so it goes on the 6th string, and the ring finger one string down, so it goes on the 3rd string, and the rest of the strings are left open. So this is the chord progression for each of the verses: E minor and D6/9. Now for the chorus, we also have another chord progression, and it's composed of two chords also. And these chords are E minor 9. So looking at the chord diagram, I have my middle finger still on the 5th string at 2nd fret, but this time I have my ring finger on the 1st string. The rest of the strings are left open. And then it goes to D major 9. And to do that, all you have to do is bring your middle finger down to 3rd string here, and your ring finger one string up, that means to the 2nd string, still on the same fret, but this time you have the 6th and the 5th strings dead or not to be played, so you strum from 5th string. So for the chorus, this is the chord progression: E minor 9 and D major 9. If you are not familiar at reading chord diagrams, click this card for that lesson. As for the strumming pattern, I suggest two strumming patterns for this song. The first one is this, and as you can see, the first stroke is a downstroke right at count 1. And then the next stroke is another downstroke at count 2. And then it's followed by an upstroke between counts 2 and 3, a downstroke at count 3, an upstroke between counts 3 and 4, a downstroke at count 4, and lastly an upstroke between counts 4 and the next 1 of the next measure. So you'll see that on every beat at counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, you have downstrokes. So 1, at 2, at 3, and at 4. But in between those beats or counts, you have upstrokes. And as you can see, they are all at letter N, except that you don't have an upstroke at N after count 1 or before count 2. So again, as a demonstration for this pattern, if the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to do 8-note counting. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then after that pattern, which is good for one measure, on the next measure, it is this pattern that you have to do. And as you can see, the first stroke is also at count 1, but it's followed by an upstroke between counts 1 and 2. And then the next stroke is another upstroke between counts 2 and 3. Next stroke is another upstroke between counts 3 and 4. And the last stroke is a downstroke right at count 4. And again, you have to do 8-note counting. So if the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to do 8-note counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and these two patterns you have to alternate. So you begin with the first pattern and followed by this pattern. What happens is that each of the chords is to be played for one measure. Since the first chord is E minor, so you play this chord with the first pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then after that is the next chord, which is D6/9, and you play this with the second pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's what's happening. It appears to be that for E minor and E minor ninth, you have the first pattern, and for D6/9 and D major 9, you have the second pattern. So to demo a verse, it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 for the chorus, where you have two chords, E minor ninth and D major ninth, you do the same way: E minor 9 for the first pattern, D major 9 for the second pattern. So as a demo, it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And there's one more pattern where when going to the ad-lib part, you have to play D major ninth with just a single downstroke right at count 1. Before going to that bass riff, before going to this part or the ad-lib part, the previous chord, which is D major 9, is played a single downstroke right at count 1. This is what we call a whole note strum, which is the most basic strumming pattern. If you need to learn more about basic rhythmic patterns, more detail about what's a whole note strum, and the other basic strumming patterns like half note, quarter note, and eighth note, then click this card for that lesson. I hope you enjoy this short tutorial on how to play the song A Horse with No Name on the guitar. By the way, if you need to learn more about the parts of the guitar, click this card for that lesson. And for the performance video or demonstration of playing the song on the guitar, click this card. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to be notified automatically for new uploads. Thank you for watching.